Hello everybody and welcome to ranking every card in Grim Reminders. Um, this time I'm gonna do Geistoids, which I'm excited about. They look fun. I'm gonna use my ranking, which is between a scale between -1 and 3. -1 being a card that actively has a negative effect on your deck, like a bad penny or a slimy jog. 0 is a baseline creature, like a Snufflegator that has no special ability, has about 4 or 5 power, maybe even 6, or an action with the pip that has a situational ability or doesn't do much other than that, like a 1-2 punch. It also a 1 would be a creature with an interesting ability, like a Novo Archaeologist maybe, and a card with an action with a pip that has a nice effect, like maybe a Life for a Life. And a 2 would be a pretty strong card, like Exhume, that does something immediately, or Ronnie Wristclocks, has a strong effect, or something hard for your opponent to deal with. And a 3 would be a deck maker card, something super strong, like a Punctuated Equilibrium, Val Jericho, Lateral Shift, stuff like that. Yeah, so this is my first impressions. I have not played these cards, so my ranking is just reading the card, seeing what they do, and then ranking them. I played like 2 games with Grim Reminders. I've played with some of these, but I don't really have like a long-term impression. Alright, let's start. A strong feeling. Play. Ready each friendly creature with amber on it. Move 1 amber from each friendly creature to the common supply. Okay, so this looks pretty strong, even if it was just the second effect. Move 1 amber from each friendly creature to the common supply. That will be pretty good effect, provided that Geistoid has good capture effects, which I'm assuming there is. So that would be like a baseline 0, because it doesn't have a pip. But it also readies each friendly creature with amber on it. That can generate quite a bit of amber, because you could use cards immediately or cards twice, so that could be easily generate like 3 to 4 amber. So I will give this at least a 1. If it's a 2, it mostly depends on the amount of capture in your deck or in Geistoids in general. So I don't quite know if I should give this a 2, so I'll give it a 1 for now. Ancestral Timekeeper. At the end of your turn, put a time counter on each friendly clock creature. If there are 12 or more time counters on Ancestral Timekeeper, purge Ancestral Timekeeper. If you do, take another turn after this one. Okay, so that's a very strong effect. Another turn is a very strong effect, but I have no idea how likely it is to get 12 time counters on Ancestral Timekeeper. Now, I'm aware that there are other clock creatures in the set. I have played with some of them, like TikToks. So I know there are kind of combos that you can do. If you can drop a bunch of them at the same time, they can get a lot of time counters, and this is pretty sturdy. I'm gonna assume that this doesn't like actually fire off very often, because your opponent's gonna do whatever it takes to stop you from having a whole other turn. But I think it's probably like at least a 1, because even if you're forcing your opponent to take care of a 6 power 3 armor creature, that's a strong effect. Okay, next up we have Animating Force. This upgrade is displayed attached to an artifact instead of a creature. Okay, that's cool. Play. Take control of this artifact and put it on flank of your battle line as a creature with 4 power and versatile. Versatile being you can use it in on any house choice. Scrap, gain 1 amber. Okay, first of all, scrap, gain 1 amber. That's pretty neat, because it just means that if you don't need the card, it can generate 1 amber. So that's like a good baseline 0. And this is like weird artifact control. I don't know. I don't think it's any better than just. Oh, okay, it's slightly better than just killing an opponent's artifact. But it doesn't have an ammo pick. So if you compare this to Poltergeist would be a 1. This one takes care of an artifact and gets you a 4-power versatile creature. Now, 4-power versatile creature is pretty good. It's hard to say. I think this might be a 1. I think this might be a 1 because yeah, it kind of has, because of the scrap gain 1 amber, it kind of has that I gain 1 amber if you don't have an artifact effect. And if you do have an artifact, that's pretty strong. So I'm going to give it a 1. Aelbia Stray. 6 power. If you are haunted, Aelbia Stray enters play ready. After Reap, capture 1. Reap capture 1 is decent. Like a Sequis would be a 0, I think. And this is very close to it, but it also enters play ready. Enters play ready would make it as a 1. So I think the set has enough effects to get you haunted for this to usually get into play ready, and that will make this has an immediate effect of gain 1 amber, capture 1, and that's pretty good. Alright, next up, be Our Geist. Play, choose a creature in any haunted player's discard pile, play that creature as if it were in your hand. Okay, this can be pretty crazy. I mean, just playing it, just have, okay, so this could be like an Exhume, like slightly worse than Exhume because you have to be haunted to use it. But you can also use it on your opponent's discard pile, and that can have some very serious effects. I don't know if this is a 2 or a 1. Like Exhume, I said, is a 2. I think this is a 2 as well. That's pretty strong card. Boiler, 2 power, 4 armor. Destroy, deals 6 damage to each enemy flank creature. That's pretty nasty. Scrap, deal 1 to each enemy creature. The scrap effect is sad, but as a creature, that's pretty annoying. I mean, your opponent's probably not gonna take too much effort to kill it, and also, like, if they bolt clear, then they don't really care that you're dealing 6 damage to each of your creatures, flank creatures, unless you have, like, ward setup or something like that. Yeah, this could be fairly decent against ward. I think this is like a baseline creature. I don't think it's any more than that. So that's a 0. Boo! 1 amber, discard top 10 cards of a player's deck. Immediately makes them haunted. If they are already deep in the deck, you can make them unhaunted by forcing them to redraw next turn. Yeah, this is pretty good card, but I don't think it's like a 2, so it's probably a 1. You like to have it. It's strong, but it's not gonna do anything crazy most of the time. Call of Need. 1 amber, play search your deck for a card and discard it. Okay, so this would combo with stuff like Be My Geist to get a creature that you need directly into play together. If you don't have anything to combo with it, this would be pretty baseline 0. But if you do, then it's gonna be a 1, I think. I'm gonna give this a 1. I think it needs a support to be like really good. And then that is not the card that is really good, but rather the other one. So I think this is a 1. Chronometer, 4 power, 2 armor. 1 second, I have Call of Need. I have a bit of an error with my spreadsheet where I mark the things. I set Strong Feeling 1, Ancestral Timekeeper 1, Animating Force 1. Okay, the LBS Stray was not here. I don't know where it is. Oh, I probably, yeah, I do something to remove the special characters, so it probably got removed. Just a second, I'm sorry for this, especially since I'm not going to edit this video. Oh, found the LBS Stray. I don't know why it's in the wrong place. But I'll give that a 1, like I said. And now we're back. Okay, Chronometer. Sorry about that. Chronometer. 4 power, 2 armor. At the end of your turn, put a time counter on each friendly clock creature. If there are 6 or more time counters on Chronometer, destroy Chronometer. If you do, purge a card from a discard pile. That's not a very strong effect. Just purge a creature and it destroys himself. So I think this is mostly like boosts other clock creatures, so I'm gonna give it a 0 baseline. Curse of Forgetfulness. Treachery, give to your opponent. At the end of your turn, purge the top card in your discard pile. Wow, that's nasty. That's pretty nasty. It can easily get out of control if the game goes long. This can do some serious damage. Like if you play this turn 1, they don't have artifact control, and the game goes like 10 turns, that 10th card purge, and your opponent's gonna have a fairly hard time making sure the top card of their deck is not something useful. That would be very interesting to play around though. Like if you don't have artifact control and somebody Curse of Forgetfulness you, trying to set your discard pile so that it's actually beneficial to you would be interesting. I don't think this is quite a 2, but because the effect is very long term, but I think it is a strong card, so I'm going to give it a 1. Cursed Tomb, 2 captures, 1 sloppy. Each creature with no amber on it gains destroyed, purges this creature. Each creature with no amber gets destroyed. Okay, so it's kind of like an annihilation chamber, but only for creatures with no amber on them. If there are no creatures in play, purge Cursed Tomb. So that's less powerful than an annihilation chamber. This does probably work pretty well against WoW. Winds of Exchange, that is. I don't know if I should give this a 1 or a 0. The pips are pretty good too, though. I think this is a 1. Dark Memento. At the start of your turn, if you are not haunted, discard cards from the top of your deck until you are haunted. Scrap. Discard the top card from a player's deck. If that player is not haunted, repeat this effect. Discard the top card from a player's deck. If that player is not haunted, repeat this effect. You can technically discard cards from both players' decks. Can you switch? Can you choose a different player each time you repeat this effect? I have no idea. I'd have to ask that, but if you're not haunted, discard cards from top of the deck you're haunted. This is very, very good. If you're dependent on haunting, this just ensures you're permanently haunted, which is very, very cool. So I'm gonna give it a 1. I don't think it does anything overpowered, but it is strong. Darklamp. Each friendly creature with amber on it gains elusive, play, capture 1. So a charade is a 1. I'm not sure if this is a 1, because it only captures 1, even though it has elusive and gives other creatures elusive. I mean, I like having it, but this is baseline. I mean, it's slightly better than baseline, but not enough to be a 1, I think. So I give it a 0. 3, 2, 3 power, 2 armor, enhance, capture. Each friendly creature with amber on it gains destroyed. If you are haunted, gain 1 amber for each amber on this creature. That's interesting. It doesn't capture any amber on itself. It has capture pips. I think this is better than baseline. I mean, it's kind of like a Ludo, and Ludo is better than a baseline. Kinda like a Ludo. Echofly, 2 power, 1 armor. Action, return an action card from your discard pile to your hand. Okay, so that's like a Witch of the Eye, but not on Reap. And only 4 actions. Scrap, archive the topmost action card from your discard pile. So the scrap is probably better than the action, because the creature needs to survive to use the action. I think this is like a baseline 0. Because most of the time you're gonna want to scrap it, and if you can't scrap it, then it's just a creature that's probably gonna die. I don't know. No, I think this is a 1. This is a bit better than baseline. Like a Witch of the Eye would be a 1. I think. Okay, I'll give this a 1. Ecto-Charge, the crazy one that everybody's talking about. I'm just gonna give it a 3 based on public opinion. I think this is a pretty good card. It does self-purge, which is good, otherwise that would be absolutely insane. And it's a free key in like 2/3 of the games, because you will... No, a third of the games is gonna be a free key, because you draw it after you have like 20 cards in your discard pile. And if it's not a free key, if it gives you an amber, it doesn't make you lose more. Like if you have like only 14 cards, it's a pretty crazy card. I think it's a free, like everybody else probably. Empathic Malice, enhance capture. Play, a friendly creature captures 3. If you are haunted, put Empathic Malice on the bottom of your deck. Ew? I don't want this. I don't want this in my deck. I don't think it's actively bad. I don't think this is a -1. But I don't want this in my deck. It's just a bunch of capturing. And, I mean, amber control is important, but capturing is not the best amber control, especially if it doesn't come with a body to put it on. So that's a 0. Energy Vampirism. Play, a creature captures 1 amber from its own side. For each amber on that creature, deal 1 damage to that creature. Play, capture 1 from its own side. That's basically a steal with an amber pip. That's a 1. It also does a bunch of damage to it if there's enough amber on it, so you might be able to immediately kill it, which would be cute. So that would be like Relentless Whispers. Relentless Whispers is a 2. I think I'll give this a 2 as well. It's pretty close to Relentless Whispers. Like if it has 1 power, it's a Relentless Whispers. If it has 2 power, then it has to already have an amber on it for it to be Relentless Whispers, and that's pretty good. And this gains the value even if it doesn't kill it immediately, because there is the capture. You just have to kill it later some other way. So yeah, this is a 2. Future is past. Swap each player's deck with their discard pile. Shuffle each player's deck. So that's like a reverse time on both players without an amber pip. You have to be very careful with this card. It is a rare, so it's not going to show up a lot. It is interesting. Definitely an interesting card to play with. Very tough to say what the power level is without like knowing the other cards in the set. I'm gonna guess this is probably a 2 in the right deck, but most times it's gonna be a 1. Alright, Hallowed Eve Festival. Pip, play, discard the top 5 cards of your deck. If for each Geistoid card discarded this way, a friendly creature captures 1. This is baseline. I don't think this does a lot very often. It's situational effect and with a pip. Okay, next one. 5 power. Harvest Skimmer. After Reap, discard the top card of your deck. If it is a creature, gain 1 amber. I don't love this effect. It's like a situational double pip. It helps you get haunted. I don't love the effect. I'm gonna give it a 0. Haunted House. At the start of your turn, if you are not haunted, discard the top card of your deck. Omni, if you are haunted, gain 1. That card is so good. It helps you get haunted, and then anytime you're haunted each turn, you'll get 1 amber on an artifact that is difficult to interact with if your opponent doesn't have any artifact control. I think this is a 2. Haunted House. Next one. In Here Somewhere. Play. If you're haunted, I have 2 cards from your discard pile. Otherwise, discard the top 5 cards of your deck. So this is a common. And that matters a lot, because if you have 2 of these, you can kind of cycle between those 2 and another card and always have them, as long as you're haunted, so as long as you don't flip your deck back over. And that's pretty crazy, if you can play the same card over and over and over again each turn. Yeah, so I'm gonna give this a 2. That's a very strong common. I may be scoring a little high here. Infiltrator, Force, Skirmish, Treachery, Versatile. At the end of your turn, destroy Infiltrator's neighbors. So this is a Scouty Caper, basically, with 4 power instead of 2. I don't like Scouty Caper, so that's a 0. Island of... Is it a 0 or is it a -1? Do I actively dislike having Scouty Caper in my deck? No, it can be useful sometimes, but it's very situational. So yeah, 0. Island of Misfit Toys. That gives me a flashback to childhood trauma from the Pinocchio movie, the animated Pinocchio movie. Yeah. Action. Return each Geistoid card from your discard pile to your hand. Purge Island of Misfit Toys. What? What? That's crazy. Just get the entire house back at the end of the deck? That's nuts. Is this strong enough to be a free? Maybe? I think I'll give it a 2. I don't think it's quite a 3 because it's an artifact that needs to survive a turn. It needs to come up at the right time. It needs to not be discarded by your effects that you discarded up from your deck. But that's pretty good. Okay, Junk Restoration. Amber Pip. Enhanced. Sloppy. Play. Discard the top 3 cards of your deck. You may put a card discarded this way into your hand. Ooh, so this is an Igo. It just worded weird. Instead of this, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 in your hand, put the other 2 in the discard pile, just discard them and then put 1 back. So this is an Igo, and it has a pip instead of being a creature, and it has 2 sloppy pips. So I think this is a 2, because this is better than an Igo. I mean, Igo is easier to like recur because it's a creature, but still. Okay, next one, Junkyard Cemetery. Junkyard Cemetery. While there is a combined total of 10 or more cards between your purge cards and discard pile, you are haunted. Action, purge a card in your discard pile. I think this is just like fun. I don't think this is amazing. This is good. This is good self-purge strategy stuff, and allows you to stay haunted while you self-purge. So that's pretty good, but it's pretty deck dependent. I'm gonna give it a 1. Next one. Kaspara. X is the combined total power of Amber between each player's pools. Each friendly Geistoid creature gains play destroyed, each player gains 1 Amber. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. It also works on itself, so when you play it, each player gets 1 Amber to ensure that it has power. I don't want this in my deck. I don't want this in my deck at all. I don't think it actively makes it worse, but it's a 0. Memette. Play destroyed, archive the top card of your discard pile. That is very good. So it's kind of like a ZYX researcher, but also does it on destroyed. That's awesome. 1 or 2. I think your opponent can like muddy your archives if they kill it right. So I'll give it a 1. But it might combo with other stuff very well, so I don't know. Mender. Play after Reap. Purge a card from a discard pile. Fully heal and ward each robot creature. Are the clocks robots? It makes sense that they will be. Where's the clocks? Yeah, the clock is not a robot. It's just a clock. Okay. That doesn't work on clocks. Purge, it works on robots. This one is a robot. This one is a robot. Chievous. Okay, that's cute. Purge a card from a discard pile. Wait. Purge a card from a discard, fully heal and reward each robot creature. So also opponents. This also happens on play and it wards itself. So this is a 2 power, 2 armor warded creature. That's good. And it can purge a card from your opponent's discard pile. That's good. Could purge a card from your discard pile if you're a self-purger. That's good. I'm reluctant to give this a 2. So I'll give it a 1. Mischievous. After a friendly Geistoid creature enters play, each player discards the top 2 cards of their deck. After a friendly enters play, each player discards the top 2. After Reap, play the topmost creature from your discard pile. So this is like a 1. It's kind of a Witch of the Eye kind of situation. Yeah, that's a 1. Phantasmal Visit, 1 Amber. Play, stun and exhaust a creature. If you are haunted, I call Phantasmal Visit. So this is like stun and exhaust is pretty good. Disable it, and they can't unstun this turn, so they haven't had another turn, and it might archive. I'll give this a 1. A lot of new cards in the set, as this is a little long video than the other sets on the other houses because new house. Plow-Sword. Action. Put a creature in a discard pile on the bottom of its owner's deck, like World Tree. If you do, deal 3 damage to a creature. So World Tree with a bonus. World Tree is not amazing. It's like a 0. And added 3 damage is good, but doesn't quite make it a 1 for me. Poltergeistoids. Purge a card from a discard pile. If you do, play a creature or artifact from your purge zone as if it were in your hand. Attach Poltergeistoid to it as an upgrade with the text, "This card belongs to House Geistoid." Play a creature or artifact from your purge zone. Yeah, so this with self-purge ability is very, very strong. It also does the purging itself, so you can just play a card from your discard pile. Creature or artifact. It doesn't have a pip on it though, so it's not quite Exhume level, I think. unless you're playing against Purge tactics, and then it can be Exhume level. But I'm gonna give this a 1, like on average. Precocious Fragment. After Reap, if you're haunted, gain 1 amber. Otherwise, discard the top card of your deck. Slightly better than the baseline, has an interesting ability. But I don't know if it's quite a 1. I think I'm gonna give it a 0. Protective Playmate, Taunt. While you're haunted, Protective Playmate gets 6+6 power. Otherwise, Protective Playmate gains Elusive. Boring creature. 0. Persephone. Keys cost -2. Destroy it. If Shades is in your hand, your discard pile, return to your hand. What's a Shades? I need to, oh, here's the Shades. Action. Play a creature from your discard pile. If that creature is Persephone, destroy Shades. That's a lot to process. I don't love it. This is you play it, your opponent gets to first, so unless you have like a key cheat, which is Ecto-Charge, which is already insane, this doesn't do much. I'm gonna give this a 0. Weird double creature thingy. Yeah. Reaver. Enhance. Capture Sloppy Sloppy. After Reap, move 1 amber from a friendly creature to your pool. If you do, discard a card. Okay, so this is an interesting effect. So it's better than the baseline. I'm gonna give this a 1. I don't think it's very strong, but it's interesting. It's versatile. It has a nice bunch of pips with it. So yeah, that's a 1. Pip, Replicative Growth. Play. For the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature gains, after Reap, move 1 amber from this creature to your pool. Situational. I'm gonna give this a 0. Baseline, just a pip. Return to Rubble. Shuffle the top 10 cards of your discard pile into your deck. If you do, destroy each creature. Okay, so this is a board clear. I think this requires you to have 10 cards in your discard pile for it to work. Like if you have 9, then you did not shuffle 10 cards. So this is a board clear, or only if you're haunted. Board clears are good. It doesn't give you chains. It does on-haunt you if you have less than 20 cards. Less than 19 cards. Less than 10. I mean, if you have 19 cards, you still stay haunted because this goes into the discard pile. That's what I meant. I think this is a 1. I don't think it's a very good board clear, but it's still a board clear. And board clears are good, and sometimes you don't want to play them, sometimes they don't work. That's fine. So I give it a 1. Skuboo. While Skuboo is in your discard pile, if you would draw a card during your turn, you may discard the top 3 cards of your deck and return Skuboo from your discard pile to your hand instead. I did not process that at all. While Skuboo is in your discard pile, if you would draw a card during your turn, you may discard the top card of your deck and return Skuboo from your discard pile to your hand instead. During your turn just means it includes the end of turn draw step, I think. I don't know why they added. Oh, they added during your turn because otherwise your opponent would return Skuboo to your hand, which would be weird because of active player choice. I don't think this is amazing. I think this is a 0. Kind of like a weird relentless creeper that sometimes haunts you. I don't know. It's okay. Shades, we already covered this. I don't think. Play a card from your discard pile. If that creature is Play a creature from your discard pile. Play a creature from your discard pile is pretty good, so I'm gonna give this a 1. Singing Scythe. While you are haunted, you may return Singing Scythe from your discard pile to your hand. While you are haunted, you may return. Okay. This creature gains after Reap. If you are haunted, purge a card from your discard pile. Self-purge might be nice. Mostly gonna be a 0. 3 power, Snippy, Skirmish, play, deal 2 damage to a creature, scrap, destroy an enemy flank creature. Boom. 3 power, not Skirmish is not great, but 2 power damage to a creature on play is pretty good. I still don't think this is quite a 1, so I'm giving it a 0. Soul Vial, Amber. Each friendly creature with Amber on it gains destroyed, archive this creature. So this kind of dissuades your opponent from killing your creatures with Amber on them, because then they get archived, which is cute. But I don't think this is like a very strong card, so I'm gonna give it a 0. Soul Tender. Play, after Reap. Move each Amber from each Spectre creature to the common supply. Fully heal and ward each Spectre creature. This also works on a play, and it is itself a Spectre, so it's a 1 power warded creature. So that's a 1. Spontaneous Awakening. If your opponent is haunted, destroy an enemy artifact, cyborg, creature, or robot creature. If you do, play the card as if it were in your hand. Attach Spontaneous Awakening to it as an upgrade with a text this card belongs to Geistoid. If your opponent is haunted, destroy an enemy artifact, cyborg creature, or robot creature. So this is gonna steal an artifact most of the time, and if not, then it might steal something else, and if not, it's just an ammo pip. That's pretty good. I'm gonna give this a 1. Synchronizer. Each friendly clock creature gains destroyed. Move half the time counters rounding up from this creature to Synchronizer. Omni. Move all time counters on Synchronizer to a friendly clock creature. That's probably pretty good with a bunch of clocks. I don't know how the algorithm deals with it. Might force you to have clocks with it. I don't know. But I'm gonna give it a 1 because it's probably pretty good. Probably pretty good in every deck that has clocks in it. Tangler. Spectre. After Reap, stun a creature and each of its neighbors. Scrap, stun a creature. This is trash. 1 power is trash. The scrap ability is weak. I'm gonna give this a -1. I think the only way this is like useful is if you combine it with some of the warding things, ward specters and ward robots. Otherwise, this is quite bad, so I'm gonna give it -1. The Grim Reaper. If you're haunted and display ready, that's good. And the Purge thing is good. I'm gonna give it a 1. We also know the Grim Reaper because we've played with it. 5 power, Thought Catcher, Enhance, Capture. Each friendly creature with Amber on it gains destroyed, draw a card. That's a better dissuader for your opponent to kill your Amber creatures with Amber on them, so I'm gonna give this a 1. It's also a creature that can reap and fight and stuff. And it has 2 capture pips. So this is like way better than Soul Vial. Yeah. And this is way better than, and this is definitely a 1, so I feel good about giving the Soul Vial a 0. Okay, TikTok. At the end of your turn, put a time counter on each friendly clock creature. If there are 3 or more time counters on TikTok, destroy TikTok. If you do, archive the top 3 cards of your after 3 cards from your hand and discard pile. That is very cute. I'm gonna give this a 1. You kind of need to have 3 to get them like pumped up immediately, or ward or specters or something. That's very cool. I like it. Thoughtstone. 4 power after Reap. If you are haunted, draw 2 cards. Otherwise, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. So, if you're haunted, this is like a bibliophile with 4 power. That's good. I'm going to give it a 1. Tribute Collector. Taunt. Play. After fight, a friendly creature captures 1. Captures immediately, I think, is a 1. And can also capture later. Varad the Indulgent. That Tribute Collector kind of offends my Raiding Knight. It has Taunt, it has Play Capture, and a fight ability. My Raiding Knight is offended. Varad the Indulgent. Varad the Indulgent gets +1 power for each amber on it. After another friendly Geistoid creature fights, Varad the Indulgent captures 1. So this is like Gorvenal. Just also doesn't have 1 armor but gets more power. Yeah, that's a 1. Veil of Ectoplasm. Play. For each Geistoid card in your discard pile, a friendly creature captures 1. Meh. That's 0. Webstool. Taunt. After fight, for each damage on Webstool, you may discard the top card of each player's deck. 8 power Taunt is already pretty decent, and yes, a fight ability, optional fight ability on top, so this would be a 1. Well of Memory. Play. Purge any number of cards from your hand. For each card be purged this way, return a card from your discard pile to your hand. Action. Destroy Well of Memory. Okay, so the action is just to recycle it and get it back. The purging from the hand and then returning, that's very, very cute. You can return a lot of cards from the discard pile. This might be a 2. That's a lot of cards you can return. I give this a 2. Play. Each player archives each creature from their discard pile. Destroy each creature. This is a board clear with no chains, but it does archive a bunch of stuff potentially. So it's situational. Still very, very good, I think. It destroys the creature afterwards, after archiving, so if most of the creatures are on the board, this is just going to be a board clear. Against WoW, this is going to be great. I'm going to put this at 1. It's good board clear. I don't think this is a crazy board clear, though. Okay, that sums up our Geistoid review. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments about my rankings, feel free to leave a comment, and I will also have the list of my rankings in the show notes. Thank you very much. See you for the next video with Mouse.